Okay guys, welcome to our Soilless farm training, and what we are trying to do here is to be able to give you in details things that will help you understand soilless farming, and you can be able to start rolling and doing your thing without depending on anyone. Okay, and for us to talk about soilless farming, you need to understand what brought about the innovation, what brought about the thinking. Now, for us to do that, we need to look at modern science and its effects. What do we mean by modern science? We call it industrial revolution. Was that not what we call it? We call it industrial revolution. But there's something I've come to discover. I've actually come to discover that when God created everything he created, he designed it in a way that it runs and evolves, and while it's even evolving, it still sustains itself. Even the human system. If you can study about cells, they say we have trillions of cells and millions of cells are being formed every single second. Now, those millions of cells you see that is forming every single second, some are dying, new ones are replacing them. But most of the things we are having as an effect today is still part of industrial revolution. Our lifestyle is what is actually causing us to die very early these days, because the system God has designed to evolve to sustain itself, we have scattered it. The same thing is happening to modern nature. If you look at modern nature today, modern nature was designed in a way that it evolves and still sustains the ecosystem. So what you are seeing, everything happens as planned. God has designed everything, that everything happens as planned. You understand? That is sustainability with the way modern nature is. But what are we doing today? We are coming up with the so-called industrial revolution without having consideration on the ecosystem. You understand? So we have no respect to the ecosystem. So what we are doing today in the name of industrial revolution, what we are simply doing is that we are devastating the mother nature. We are just scattering the entire thing, and this is causing a massive climatic change. Look at even here in Nigeria. By November, December, we expected Harmattan. It did not come. Everywhere was hot. Every damn place was hot this year. And this is the first time, before now we used to have that around February, March. Everywhere would become very hot. It wasn't like that a few years ago, and suddenly it started happening, and now it has spilled to November, and it's something to worry about. And you know why we need to worry about? We need to worry about because plants is one of the most responsive living thing that responds easily to climatic change. You understand? So when things are changing, you understand, plants respond faster. If you go and check it, most of us that actually planted during that period, you find out that some of them, their plants did not do well because of that drastic change in climatic condition. So we need to understand that our modern science is not helping matters. The other time when I'm going to teach you about lights, because when we talk about lights, how much plants needs light, I will start explaining to you the wavelengths, and I'll start making you understand what we call the UV light, and how the UV light is actually covered so that it doesn't have access to man. So there's a lot of things we need to understand. Then secondly, let's also look at the part of population explosion and its effects. Now, if you look at it, we have explosive population increase. Yes. In the 1980s, the population of the world was around 1 billion. In the 80s, not even 1980s, in the 80s, the population of the world was in billion, just 1 billion, around that range. But today, in 2023, it was recorded that the world is about 8 billion. And there is a prediction that by 2050, that the world is going to click about 10 billion. That is massive. That is an explosion in population. And remember, there are a lot of effects to that. When population increases, everyone wants to build their own house. Everyone wants to live in the city. Are you understanding it? Part of my studies, I found that especially in this country, in the 90s, around 1960 something, our population as at Nigeria then was about 40 something million people, and the urbanization at that time was about 15 million. 15%, I said 15%. That was our urbanization as at that time. Okay, now today we have clocked 280 something million people. That's the range where we are today, and our urbanization is 55%, 55%. What it simply means is that more lands are being taken for industrialization, more lands are being taken for buildings, more lands are being taken for different purposes. Because when urbanization happens, lands are being converted for different purposes, but not agriculture. So we are recording massive explosion in population, and that massive population is bringing, and when there is urbanization, one of the things we also have is pollution. Part of the things we experience in urbanization is pollution. Everyone wants to have generator, everyone is driving car. We have millions and millions of cars. People have rich, you have to have car for yourself, for your wife, and for the children. So all those urbanization is also bringing about pollution. You understand? And what is the effect? Our fertile lands are degrading. Fertile lands, the water has also been polluted. So these are part of the effects of that. Now, what is the danger and what is the solution? So we should be expecting rise in pollution, more especially, and there are going to be high level of degradation of our lands. We're not going to have lands again to farm. We're not going to have lands again to farm. So we're talking about farming. We have more population of people that needs food, and yet we don't have land to farm. Are we understanding? So that is part of the reason, and that's why we need the innovation we are bringing in today, which is soilless farming, because we want to reduce heavy use of pesticide. You know, even when farmers are even farming, they're also part of people that are also causing effects. You understand? We have heavy use of pesticides, we have heavy use of insecticides, and all these things are also affecting our soil. It's also helping our land to degrade. Are you understanding? So now the innovation we are bringing in is to be able to work on these things. You understand? We're trying to work on these things. We no longer have land. What can we do?
Good morning.
So what is the future and what is the solution? I tell you, the solution today is soilless farming. You understand? Soilless bed cultivation. That is the solution. The number 2 is controlled environment agriculture. Controlled environment agriculture is now where you on your own controls the environment where your plants are growing. You on your own controls the environment where your plants are growing. It's very key, because you cannot predict. It's just like we expecting Harmattan and suddenly we are now seeing a very hot weather, and you did not put facilities in place to manage such situation. So controlled environment farming is the future, and also soilless farming. And that is why there is need for you to learn soilless farming. You understand? And it will help you to be capable to feed your world at every point in time. You understand? So I want to encourage you, and I tell you that the decision you are making today to learn soilless farming is a very good decision, and we're going to do our best to put you through on the science of soilless farming. Not just telling you bring this, put together, put this. No, I'm going to teach you the science of soilless farming, things you need to know, so that on your own you can do the necessary manipulations and everything about soilless farming. So see you guys on our next slide. Bye.